Hi, welcome to Adventures and Things. I'm Michael Wright, and your inner detective is probably wondering, hey, there's something different here. Well, I wanted to show you that I am not a one-trick pony. I can be just as indoorsy as I can be outdoorsy. And I'm here at Shaw Studio in Saanich, British Columbia, and I am joined with a very special guest, a photographer, an improvographer, and just all around great fella. A man who needs no introduction to his friends and family, Steve. Steve, would you like to add anything to that wonderful introduction?
Thank you. No, you pretty much covered everything.
Oh, that's good. Well, welcome to the show, Steve. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
As I said so eloquently, that you are a photographer.
Yep.
So how did you get into photography?
Just something that sort of happened naturally for me. I found as I had my dad had an Olympus camera growing up, and I was always intrigued by that film camera. And as technology improved, had a phone camera, and then I just sort of started taking pictures of everything around.
Yeah,
So-
and you still use your phone camera.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So now you got into macro photography.
I did.
So why did you get into macro photography? What about it was it that you liked?
I started following a few people on social media, and I was intrigued by the prospect of doing macro photography myself. So when I upgraded my phone, got a case, and I invested in a macro lens.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
just sort of went from there.
And that's that moment lens.
Yeah.
Which we'll see later.
Yeah.
We're gonna see that later. Don't you worry. Maybe did we do that? I don't know. So yeah. So you like taking the pictures of the little things out
Yes.
there. It's all those. So are you a detail-oriented person?
Depends on the day. I mean, really, I took a lot of sign language classes back in the day in Toronto, and I remember sort of starting to use my peripheral vision. So when I was going in the forest and on hikes, I would sort of slow down. We'll cover that later, and just sort of hone in on the smaller details of the forest, and all the adventures I like to go on as well. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because we do go into that later. So why nature? Like, why not like food or buildings, or to a lesser extent people?
Yeah, I think my older photos was covering a wide variety, more landscapes and that sort of stuff, and more urban landscapes. When I moved out here, I just found myself drawn to the forest, and then trying to capture all the small things and all the people that I would follow on social media. So it's so interesting, the amount of detail and things that you could find in the forest, even on just a simple walk for 30 minutes or an hour. So.
Yeah, because as we'll see later, you were spotting things just like crazy. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what that is. And as I said, yeah, we'll see that later. But like, what else is it about nature that you like really enjoy?
It's just very calming, right? Being in the lush green forest, it's just very relaxing, and sort of any stresses of the day or anything that's going on, it's sort of at a bit of an escape. And forest bathing is a big thing now, and there's
Forest bathing?
Forest bathing, yeah.
Interesting. Carry on.
And then you have people that are really, the whole mycology thing is really sort of blown up in the last few years, and people are really paying attention to different ways of seeing how trees interact, and just the life that flows through the forest and all of that stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, it's quite intriguing. So.
Yeah, and how about this forest bathing? Because that sounds interesting, doesn't it?
It's not
What is that?
actual bathing in the forest, so you're kind of like washing your body with the trees, and not like your actual full body, but you're in nature. You're sort of I'm not an expert on this by any stretch of the imagination, but I just think that it's promoting people to get out into nature and connect with nature is more the idea behind it. It's big in Japan. There's people that do forest bathing tours. And
Is it a metaphorical bathing? Is that what's happening
yeah,
here?
there it is. Yeah, for sure.
It's all coming together.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I get it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I don't take my soaps and shampoos and towel out there.
I mean, you're more than welcome to.
As long as they're biodegradable.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. So do you feel more connected to nature now that you do photography, and especially macro photography?
Yeah, for sure. I think I find if I don't get out into nature every few days or so. I feel a bit sort of stuck and stunted, so I like to get out and get inspired. And sometimes I'll take 50 photos, sometimes I'll take 2 photos, sometimes I won't take anything. So
Sometimes you'll just go out there and bathe.
yeah, exactly.
Now, okay, so there's something else, like you use your phone,
Yeah.
which we'll get into more in this video coming up, but I just wanted to ask you about, is it weird to take your phone out into nature? I know some people go out into nature and they're like, I don't take my phone at all, but for you, it's your tool to take wicked sweet shots.
Well, they say, thank you. They say the best camera is the one that you actually have with you and the one that you're actually using. So eventually I like to upgrade. So
yeah, okay.
But for now, I'm content with what I have.
Yeah, you're good. Well, as we'll see in this video coming up, Steve does an incredible job with the macro photography. So let's go out into the field, take some pictures, and then we'll be back here to ask some more questions, to hound you some more with questions, Steve.
Excellent.
That was my David Letterman.
There you go.
Okay, so we're out here at Mackenzie Bight. This is one of Steve's favorite spots on the island to come, so don't ruin it for him. No, just be respectful of nature and everything. But this is one of Steve's favorite spots. And Steve, when we first met, you had a funny story about hiking and everything. I'll let you tell the story. How's that?
Thanks. Yeah. So Mackenzie Bight. So when I first moved here, my friend brought me here, very dear friend, and I was just in awe of how green it was. Yeah. And I remember just kind of going down this, what I call this part here that we're on right now, is the ramp.
The ramp.
Down here, we made it way down to the Bight, up past the waterfall, and we kept going. And she was a very experienced, avid hiker. And me coming from Ontario, I was not an avid
hiker. A lot of hiking like this.
Exactly, right? So I was winded, and I was not expecting it. And it was a beautiful hike, and I loved it, but I was just not prepared for it. But I found, as I've gotten more and more into photography, I tend to slow down.
Yeah.
Much to the annoyance of other people
right.
on the hikes and stuff too. So
we'll see how annoyed I get.
Yeah.
No.
Fair. No, for sure.
So that's so like you did say there's like what 3 different types of hikers that you found.
Well, there's like the people that like what I like to call gazelles. That just like run along the trails. I'm like, how are you not doing that? Not twisting your ankle on every rock and branch all the way along.
Yeah.
And then there's the ones that they just do like day hikers.
Right.
Like to go for day hikes, and they're pretty. And then there's the people that stop every 3 seconds for everything. That's probably me. Yeah.
That's you, yeah.
I get distracted by all the little creepy crawlies and the fungi and the moss and all that sort of stuff. So.
Well, yeah, and that's just it. So I think we're going to have a fun time walking around here, and you're going to show me how to maybe slow down a little bit in life and look for those small things that we're going to make look huge from this macro photography. So let's get walking at a very slow pace, and we'll go find some cool things to shoot. Sweet. 2 seconds down the trail, Steve has spotted a mushroom. We weren't sure if what we were gonna see out here, but Steve's got that eye. All right, so what is it that you look for when you come out here? What is this thing that you're taking a picture of?
They're sporophytes from the moth. So, I mean, I'm not a biologist or naturalist by any stretch of the imagination, but it's all self-taught. But I think in the spring, when these guys get extra water, they just sort of produce these little extra spouts here. I don't really know the details about it, but yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
And if we'd been walking fast, we would have just blown right by them, right?
Yeah, I think with this sort of stuff, I mean, I took some sign language for like American Sign Language for a long time, and it kind of forced me to use my peripheral vision more. And I think when you're walking slower in the forest, you see these little things. Like we were just walking our turn, and we were talking about this sort of landslide here, and I said, "Oh, look at those little guys there." I just hiking more and more frequently now. I kind of know what to look for. What sort of trees and stuff like that. But again, it's still a work in progress. sometimes there's like these little guys here, and they'll have like little red heads on top of them.
All right, Steve, here's the idea.
Okay.
You're using your phone with a lens. I'm going to use my camera, and we'll pick a couple things that we really like, and we'll see which one's better.
Okay. My money's on you, man.
I don't know. I'm going to learn a lot from you out here.
Oh, really?
I think so. Look at the shots you're getting.
The challenge that I have is like I feel limited with my gear.
You feel limited?
Yeah.
Let me see what I can get with this then. I don't think you should feel limited because personally I think you get great shots.
Thanks, man.
Secondly, you can get in there nice and tight.
Yeah.
Tight like a toiga.
Yeah.
And it's all about the results that you get anyways. And I think
true.
your results...
I mean, the best camera you can have is the one that has pictures, right?
Exactly. And I think your work will speak for itself. Steve and I looked around to find the perfect thing to humanely shoot, and I think we got pretty lucky with our first specimen. So I've decided to label the pictures 1 and 2, and you can decide which one you like more, 1 or 2. All right, Steve, that was us in the field, as you know, because you were
fun.
there.
Super
that
fun.
That was a really fun day.
Yeah, thanks for taking me out.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. Honestly, that was good times.
Yeah.
So out there, you had mentioned something about like imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And I feel like people, when they get into the arts, they get this imposter syndrome sort of thing.
Absolutely.
But I put that video out on YouTube to ask people whose photos they thought were better. Mm-hmm. And it was a general consensus that it was like pretty even. It was like right down the middle. So I was using, a camera. You were using your phone with your lens.
Yeah.
And like, I just want to say, like, that's awesome. Do
Thank
you
you.
still feel like an imposter?
I mean, sometimes if I don't get out enough in nature, I find that I kind of lose a little bit of that inspiration. And then, you're always hunting for a really good shot, right? Of anything, and I could take 50 photos and them all be terrible, but I could take one photo and it'd be total magic, right? You just have to sort of, the way the light and all that, all those fun things, right? So, I mean, less now. Before,
You're welcome.
yeah, thank you. I guess because I don't have a proper camera per se, and I know that phones have come leaps and bounds in the last few years with their lenses and all of that stuff. So I think sometimes, unless you have a proper camera, for lack of a better term, and you're actually doing it professionally, that to me signifies a bit of amateur, right? That I'm not sort of going full bore with it, or I'm not making any money off of it or anything like that. I'm not sort of seeking that sort of purpose behind it, behind the photos. I just sort of want to share what I find is beautiful and what I get inspired by, really.
Yeah,
to be honest.
And that, you know what, that's exactly what attracted me to your Instagram page. Was just your photos were incredible. Like,
thank you.
I was like, wow, man, that's like, is he just really small? Is that how this is happening? Turns out I didn't know much about macro photography. So, having said that, do you plan on buying a proper camera?
Yes, eventually. I do.
Oh, yeah?
I do. Yeah. But I feel that a lot of people that do that sometimes they lose sight of the art, or things are heavily filtered or heavily edited, and I like to use a lot of natural light and just sort of let things be captured as they naturally occur in the forest, right?
Right.
So for sure, I mean, that would be a dream. Would I like to make a bit of money on the side? Absolutely, right? But that's not my ultimate goal. My goal is just to have a creative outlet to take photos and share what I find to be inspiring.
Yeah. So that's actually a good segue into my next question. Yeah. I got the wrong card. No. So do you have a favorite subject to shoot? Like, what is your favorite thing out there?
I think it's a toss-up between like mushrooms and fungus and slime molds and slugs and all of those little creepy crawlies, some bugs too,
all
things
the slimy stuff.
Exactly, all the stuff that people kind of find gross. There's beauty to be found in all of those sort of things, I think.
I think they're shiny and nice as well. And sometimes, as you can see, like those slug shots were awesome. And that mushroom shot that had like the bite out of it, what do you think took a bite out of that?
Probably a slug.
Probably a slug.
Yeah.
Sneaky things, them.
Yeah.
They move so slow, but
then
you don't even see them eat mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. So you touched on this earlier about like, do you have plans on turning your hobby into a macro career?
I mean, if somebody was willing to pay me tons of money to take macro photography shots, I would definitely consider it. But to me, I just like being creative. It's an artistic sort of expression, and I just sort of like to do those sort of things. I don't really worry too much about it down the road. So.
Right, because you had mentioned before that you don't even use hashtags.
I don't, no.
On your Instagram.
No.
So you just literally take these shots and just post them, and if people happen to see them.
For my friends and my family, right? And then other people started to follow me and started expressing that they were really enjoying my photos. So I thought, oh, okay. But I'm not doing it for social media. I'm doing it for my friends and my family. I'm doing it to share for them. But I obviously do appreciate, the attention.
Yeah,
for sure. But that's not my main goal. It's just to sort of share what I find to be.
Yeah, and I like that. I like it when it feels more natural.
Yeah, because that's what the intention behind it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't to sort of play the algorithms or any of that stuff, right? It was to share what I found to be inspiring with people that I cared for. And
yeah, that's awesome. That's something I enjoy. So, there's going to be other phone enthusiasts out there that are watching this, all three of them anyways. Do you have any other tips for other phonies out there? Phonies being phone users.
Yeah. I mean, just take your time. I find sometimes if it's extra windy in the forest, it's hard to get a good shot of something. I'll end up taking a lot of shots of one particular subject, and it keeps moving around, so I get frustrated with it. But just make sure that have a good, just keep it steady, right? Like anything, right? There's nothing more frustrating than trying to capture something that keeps moving around.
As we learned in the video, slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly.
Gets you little nibbles of the mushrooms is what it does.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you use an editing app or anything like that? Like, do you edit your photos?
Sometimes I'll touch them up just using the software on my phone. Generally, I'll just use the filters that are provided, just to sort of enhance the light or decrease the light or phone on the details or sharpen the image up a little bit, but not really.
Yeah.
It's just nothing too extravagant.
In terms of natural nature sort
Yeah,
of
I
thing,
mean, this is why the natural light is important, right?
Yeah.
So I think that if people add extra filters or all that other stuff, or they really, really edit their photos, I find that it seems overdone, overproduced, and it just doesn't look real anymore, right? For lack of a better term. So,
yeah, sometimes when the saturation and the contrast and all that's like just bumped way up, you're like, I've never been out in the woods and it looked like that.
Exactly.
What am I not on that's making it do that?
Exactly.
So I guess like you share your photos. How do you share them? Do you do prints or anything like that?
No, I've had a couple of people ask me if they could print my stuff, and I said by all means, or they said, do you do prints? Or and I haven't up until this point. I personally feel like my stuff, there's a lot of room for improvement. Always aiming for something bigger and better, right? So I feel that, until I've thought about it. I've thought about just printing a couple for myself or a couple for my family or close friends, but I really haven't ventured down that road yet. So.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to have your own print out there on a wall somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just randomly put it up in people's office. And they're just like, that's my print.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a few photos that I'm really proud of that I really, really enjoy and that I got a lot of positive response from. So there's a handful of sort of favorites that I have that I wouldn't mind maybe printing one day.
And to bring it back to the imposter thing, that's another reason right there.
Exactly.
Why,
yeah, for sure.
Using your phone, there's like, when you get photos of the quality that you get, I feel like, you're still taking pictures. It's still photography.
Yeah.
You're using the little camera button on your phone. So, yeah, I mean,
very true.
Yeah, I think that's something that you gotta realize. You're doing great work out there.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
The best camera is the one that you have with you, right?
Exactly.
So like I said before, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my
I really
pleasure.
appreciate it. You were an awesome guest, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
And just.
We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again next time.
For sure.
Sometime.
Yeah.
And don't forget to get out for Adventures and Things. That's always something. So, where's the camera at? So, thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and we will be back again for another show doing something. We might be inside. I might be indoorsy, outdoorsy. Who knows? Who knows where this is going to take us? I was in Vegas once. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and take care. Have good times, and that's it. Yeah. How'd you feel?
Fine.
Good.
How'd you feel?
I am sweating profusely.
Because you're wearing fleece, that's why.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fleece.
Well, it's not the first, it won't be the last.